it stop there or does it continue all the way?
No, it stops.
Stops here?
And
Okay.
it has a banister here, like
Okay.
just
A
two
post or something, right?
posts. Wonder what you're gonna do.
Probably nail it in the floor. Look, carpet, you won't see that. Now, do you get carpets up here?
Carpet all the,
What color's the carpet?
like a, not as white as yours, it's a little more tan. Tie like this.
Well, that's a nice profile shot. The three of you kids all lined up there.
This is the master bedroom.
Shall we?
And what is that hole up in the ceiling there?
I have no idea.
That's the vent.
So return, I thought we figured out the
It was the CIA file for the NASA employees.
I don't like their trim vents. You can hear through.
You what?
You can hear through.
In the master closet, walk-in closet.
Very good idea.
Very good idea. Jennifer likes that idea too. Jennifer, this is going to be Jennifer's guest room.
Tom,
When you
take
visit.
clothes and we're gonna go ahead and put in this. This. you need to use it for a while. I don't know.
Hmm?
It's gonna be just empty for a while, probably. Put the desk right here. You can look at it. Have a couch right there somewhere, and that's it,
And where are Mom and I going to sleep?
in the garage. This,
So this is your room full,
You know,
maybe.
with the wall coming down. That's just-
And which is the baby's room?
To the back of the house.
Yeah, it's a little bit quieter. Not quite as much sun probably in the back either.
in the afternoon.
5 or 6 kids.
Regardless, I think that's fine.
How many kids are you having?
One.
Just one kid?
5.
One.
What's the ones? At least 2.
Yeah, you can't have an only child.
No.
Make it lonely. Look at how spoiled you'd be, Steffi, if you didn't have Thomas.
Right. Yeah. All the things I could get that Thomas got.
Right. Here's the back. There's Steffi's back, and this is the back of the house. It's sort of different, this little shed from here. Frank Henry.
That's fine. How many people are there here?
What do you think? Let's hear you sing, Jennifer.
What?
Sing the Star Spangled Banner. We're going to tour now. We're taking a tour with a National Park Ranger. Outside, I think. It was the War of 1812. It was 1814 that Fort McHenry protected the water approaches to Baltimore for more than 100 years, but was attacked only once. British ships fired rockets and mortars at the fort for 25 hours. Fort McHenry withstood the bombardment, and then the smoke cleared, the American flag was still waving. Frank Sutsky watched these events from the deck of a truce ship. The description of the battle was immortalized. The fort has undergone many changes since 1814. Defenders saved a city and inspired a song, and here is a picture to that effect. Let it glare here. To renew history, Frank children looking very adept at this battle scene. There is Sergeant Stephanie Frank Kennitzer Eddie's flag there. I think that's the size of the flag. Here's the fort. And we're meeting the ranger underneath this huge elm tree. It just got goosed. There's a lady with a goose hand. How do you feel, goose lady?
Some of you, I'm sure, are very experts on what happened here, and that's good too. But I'm going to try to share with you the things that Francis Scott Key did not see that morning. And the whole idea that I would like to leave you with is, they conquered Napoleon, they could not defeat Baltimore. And we're going to stay right here for a few minutes in the shade and give you a little background. What we're going to do is take some complicated issues and neatly package them. So here's our neat package. Why? Sea problems. Thought that the Americans then were helping the enemy. So the British out here in the eastern seaboard were making blockades, and they were taking our ships, they were taking our seamen, the word from that is called impressing. They were taking our sailors and making them to go into the British Navy. So that's the first problem that President Madison was having with Britain. The second one was an Indian menace. Over in our frontier, way out west, in the states of Michigan, Indiana, and Illinois, we had our frontier towns. The Indians were ravaging those towns, killing people, taking the towns over. President Madison was pretty sure that the British were encouraging that activity. And so he declared war on the British in 1812. I would say he declared war, but there really was not much of a war because the British, again, were all tied up with the French until 1814. And in March of 1814, Napoleon was conquered. Paris fell, Napoleon was exiled, and now the British could take all of those conquerors and turn their attention over here to the little United States. And that's exactly what they did. What we're going to do is to tell you the idea of what was happening. Then we're going to go up to a bastion as a land attack. Now, the man who was put in charge of their land forces was General Robert Ross. He was the deciding force behind the land forces, and he had one fault though. His fault was he always led his men into battle, and that means he wanted to go first. So he was always recovering.
I think it's a car carrier.
That's
And
one
you
of
can
these
see- you can see
drive on,
a lot of
drive
the
out.
cars,
That's a Dido.
Yeah,
Drive on,
see a lot
drive
of
in,
cars.
drive out.
parked out there.
Oh, sure.
It's a nice little sailboat there.
On speedboat.
I like these guns here,
Key
Marco.
bridge you're going to go across tomorrow.
Cannons.
Is that the Key Bridge? That's the Key Bridge. Okay, we're going across that bridge, Jennifer. You're gonna have to drive the van.
Okay, now I think that you can see what I'm telling you about. I'd like you to stay right up here on top of the rampart and not go down the sloping part, but you're welcome to extend yourselves over onto the West Branch. And if you would follow that up a few miles, you would come right to Baltimore Harbor, or the Inner Harbor as you know it. Over here, to your right, is called the Ferry Branch. That's F-E-R-R-Y. That's actually the main estuary of the river. It's also the widest. Over there on the land, from Baltimore, which is that direction, extending out about 10 miles, is another point of land called North Point. So later on, when we talk about the British landing at North Point, we're talking about landing all the way down on the very tip of that peninsula. And from that landing, there's a very good road that the British Land Army followed up all the way up through the peninsula and all the way into Baltimore. And that was called Long Log Lane. Today it's called North Point Road. If you get a chance, drive down that road. Drive out there. There are some historical markers out there. Today there's a veteran hospital out there. There also is a state county park out at the very end. Well, Fort McHenry has such a good range of being able to flyer right across that water and meet the flying coming from Lazaretto Battery and be able to protect this part of the harbor. This part of the harbor was a little wider and wasn't as easy to protect. So just down that way, there are some more fortifications. There's Fort Covington in the actual Battle of Baltimore.